Salamat pagi. I'm already ready. Are you? So as Luciano said, somebody's ready. As Luciano said, we're going to talk about InterSystems innovation today, but we're also going to talk about how we innovate with our customers. Many of you don't know me. I've met some of you this week, which is fantastic. So just a little bit of background. I've been with InterSystems for 39 years. And Paul Grabscheid, sitting up front, has also been with InterSystems for 39 years. So between the two of us, Paul, we have almost 80 years of stories. And we have about 30 hours going home to talk about those stories. So most of the stories are about helping customers and customers being really successful. And also helping customers through transitions. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. So I'm responsible for product support worldwide, product education worldwide, our managed service, which is a combination of our data centers around the world, and public clouds. I'm also responsible for our development pipeline. When a developer checks in code from that point until it comes out in a release, that's what I mean by the pipeline. I'm also responsible for corporate IT, compliance, and security. So I wear a lot of different hats, which means I have a lot of stories too. My passion in life is helping people, and I really enjoy solving problems. So lucky for me, there's no shortage of opportunities to help people and solve problems. That's what drives me. What drives InterSystems is our passion, my colleagues in the room and our colleagues all around the world, in helping our customers to be successful. So today we're going to talk about how InterSystems innovates. And before I get started with that, we're going to go back in time. We're going to go back to the mainframe. Some of us remember mainframes. When mainframes were around, they were great for businesses to do batch processing. As we know, mainframes have never really gone away. But there was a transition when mini computers came on the scene. When mini computers came on the scene, there was both opportunity and risk. When mini computers came out, people wondered, will this replace the mainframe? That's the risk. The opportunity is mini computers were a lot less expensive, so smaller businesses could buy them. And they not only did batch, but they supported interactive users. So that was really a breakthrough, and a lot of mini computer companies spun up. I'm not going to go through all the names, but it was a transition. It was an inflection point for the entire IT community. And there was a lot of discussion about where mini computers might go. And as we know, mini computers, the next inflection point was client server, PCs. And PCs brought a lot of opportunity. For example, a really rich experience with the user interface. Do you remember that transition? Instead of having just a dumb terminal, now we had something that was smart, graphical, had lots of color, interactive. It was fantastic. And there was the same type of discussion. Will PCs, excuse me, replace mini computers? And of course, they haven't. So client server with PCs went on to the internet. And the internet was fabulous, an opportunity to connect everything in the world, to have information shared by universities, by government, by companies. That was a great opportunity. The risk was security. How do you manage and govern this open concept? And of course, we're still dealing with that today. And then more recently, over the last 10 to 15 years, cloud has really emerged. And products like Iris are built cloud first, which means they're built for the ability to have infrastructure that can scale up, but also scale down. So now you're in better control of the costs. Instead of spending a lot of money and putting infrastructure, mini computers and servers into your data center, now you could use cloud. And more recently, AI. There was a lot of discussion about AI yesterday. So today we're discussing both the opportunities and the risks of AI. And whatever comes next, we'll be ready for it. So customers that wrote software 30, 40 years ago, that software is still running today. We've helped all of our customers go from, not mainframe, that's a little bit before our time, but from mini computers all the way up. And one thing you can count on is to trust us to help you, all of our customers, through those transitions. The other thing that's happened at the same time, as we all know, is a massive amount of data has emerged. So we're storing more and more things. In healthcare, we're storing every single detail about what happens in a patient experience. That's very different than 10, even 20 years ago. You know, for example, the US Department of Veterans Affairs is one of our customers. They have 20 million patients in their database, a single instance. So you talk about scale, that's pretty big. Another customer in New York City, Paul mentioned this yesterday, I think, is HealthX, which is a health information exchange in and around New York State. During COVID, they were able to help the Department of Health, State Department of Health, understand how many patients were in a hospital, what medications they were on, how many nurses were staffed, etc. So it was fantastic. They have 26 million patient records. And as you saw in the video with Manifest Medics, this is a health information exchange in California. They have nearly 40 million patient records. So when we talk about scaling up, it raises the question, what do you do with all this data? You know, we're going from internet to AI with massive amounts of data. So the traditional approach was to move all this data from the server into a data warehouse or a data lake or a data swamp. And that's great, but moving that much data takes time. With Iris, you can keep your data where it is in Iris and take advantage of our AI index capability to use large language models and generative AI on your Iris instance. It takes the risk of moving your data out and moving it back. It takes that risk away. So we have multiple things happening at the same time. And again, we help our customers through these transitions and try to stay ahead. The key thing is empowering developers, because developers think through what problem needs to be solved and what's the best way to do it. So InterSystems really focuses on the developer tools, the developer languages such as Python, the developer access to data, high performance, scalability, and reliability, and enabling those developers to build sophisticated solutions that evolve as these inflection points occur. And the developer experience is really key to keep your organization moving forward. So I know we have some developers in the room, and the key to all of our success are developers. Not just our developers, but your developers too. And all of that is fine. Sorry. Clicked, but sorry, I think it was in pointer mode. That's all fine to enable developers to build solutions that solve big problems. But as an organization, you have to have the will and the commitment to embrace that. To take the things that solution developers build with AI, for example, and be able to deploy it out into the field to get real value. At the end of the day, you know, we get all excited about our software. We love to work with all of you, and that's fine. But the real thing that matters is what you provide to your customers, your users, your communities. That's the most important thing, and that's my definition of customer success. If you could do that effectively and make an impact, then we're golden. And later this afternoon, I'm going to be talking about some customers that have had major impacts in their communities. So one of the things we've done that's an example of an innovation based on customer need is MEUI, our mobile-enabled user interface. This is a graphic from class. I think all of you know class, and class is here at the event, by the way, that allows us to understand the impact that MEUI is having on TrackCare customers. It's enabling our TrackCare customers to be more effective, to be happier, and to get their job done more quickly. We work together with class to get really honest feedback from our customers without identifying who the customers are. And that informs us about product roadmaps, not for just the product, but also for services. So the feedback from class is like gold. It helps us as a business do a better job for all of you. And you can see the would you buy again with MEUI has gone up to 100%. So it's really made a difference. MEUI does not solve all challenges, just to be clear. MEUI is a step forward, but there are many things we're doing in TrackCare to make it more useful. And you saw some insights into where we're going yesterday. After me, you're going to hear more about that from Dimitri Fain. So let's take a look inside InterSystems and what our current strategies are. You know, we are a leader in healthcare technology. We are the healthcare database, quite frankly. All major healthcare solutions that are successful run on Iris, not just TrackCare. But we can't rest on our laurels. We have to continue to innovate and make Iris and Iris for Health better and better and better for you. So we continue on that journey, and that's what we've always done for 46 years, is to make our database more high performant, more reliable, more useful for developers. Recently, we did some tests, and we drove our systems up to a billion global references. If you don't know what a global reference is, think of it as access to the data. When to get data or change data. A billion per second, which is amazing. When I started, 1,000 was good. So we've really come a long way. The other thing we're doing is expanding into other markets. So we have a good presence in financial services, but it's a key area where we'd love to sell more and work with more financial services customers, both software companies and large end users. And Paul, I think it's 13 or 14% of all transactions in New York go through Iris. Is that correct? Get that number right? So that's an important market. Supply chain is also a new market for us. We think by bringing all the data together from lots of different data sources into one place, we can allow customers to make decisions faster. This afternoon, I'll give you a great example of a supply chain customer. And we want to accelerate cloud transformation. We are cloud first with Iris, and we provide managed services, hosting, and managed services for a lot of customers across our product lines. And lastly, we want to have fun. And one of the ways I have fun is talking to all of you. But when I'm back in Boston, the spirit is we have lots of fun. Just one example of that is our attrition rate is about 6%. During COVID, it went crazy for everybody. But before COVID, it was 6%, and today it's 6%. Most software companies are in the 20 to 25% range, depending on the market analyst that you refer to. One of the reasons it's 6% is because we give people in the company freedom to move around. Somebody works for me in support, and they want to move into sales engineering. I think that's fantastic. People who work for InterSystems can follow their dreams. They never leave. I'm an example of that. And if you think of Terry as the first employee, Our second employee recently passed away. But the third employee is in her mid-80s, and she's still working. So we have longevity in the company. Somebody who's been with the company for 10 years feels like they're a rookie. But we like to have fun. What do customers want? How does that align with our strategies? Customers really want a managed service for lots of reasons. It's so complicated to worry about security these days. You heard Benedict talk about that yesterday, and that's just scratching the surface. It was a great presentation, by the way. And the thing that keeps me up at night are security-related issues. Having us manage the system puts a security burden on us. But also, it's more cost-effective. And customers who have an on-prem data center model, have to hire staff, and we could do it more cost-effectively. Now, we're not doing this in every market, but we're doing this in many markets, and we continue to expand. This is the fastest growing part of our business. It's up about 41% year over year. And bringing data at the right time through analytics, through AI, through interoperability is really key. There are lots of examples of what we're doing there, but that's what customers want. And it doesn't matter which industry you're in, which products you're using. Everybody in the world wants to go faster. That's not changing, it's accelerating. So that's one of the things customers want us to do. And then, there's a lot of discussion about AI. I agree with what Paul said yesterday about, 2 years we're probably overestimating and 10 years probably underestimating. I thought that was a great comment. I think that's true. We're having a lot of discussions with customers about plans for AI in our products and what they'd like to do. We had a question yesterday. Somebody said, "What's your ROI on AI?" I thought, that's exactly what everybody wants to know. I don't know the answer. I'm going to switch gears to how we look at innovation within the company. About 7 or 8 years ago, we started working with MIT on a very new program they had called their Corporate Innovation Program. They had 4 companies, and one of them was us. We got together with MIT to understand the process of innovation and what are the attributes for a team that's successful at innovation versus a team that isn't. So it's the process and kind of science that goes into successful innovation. It was very, very interesting. We took what we learned from that and used that internally for the InterSystems internal innovation program. And the way this works is every employee in the company can suggest an idea. They don't have to implement the idea, but they would say, it's great if we could do this in support. It would be great if we could do this in the product. And we had lots and lots of ideas, hundreds of ideas. And employees would vote on their favorite ideas. So we take the top 10 or so, and we'd say, okay, we're going to move these to the next step in the process. And we would get the person who suggested the idea, supported by a few other people, to bring that to committee and make a pitch. And if we liked the pitch, then they would proceed to the next step, which is to do some more research. Look into this more. What are the possibilities? What are the risks? What help do you need? Not just skills, but what technologies do you need in order to do this? And what we were looking for the people we ultimately picked was transformative innovation. Something big, something that's going to have impact. If somebody wanted to have a new product feature, that's incremental innovation. That's not transformative. So we'll put those into departments and put that into roadmaps. But the transformative innovations got attention. So they would go through a loop. In each step of the loop, there would be a gate. They'd have to go before this committee and say, can we proceed to go on to build a pilot, a proof of concept? Can we have more people to work on this? Can we have more time to work on this? So it wasn't really about money. It was about internal support. And of course, the 2 top finalists were Fire, which has gone really well, and another one called Yoki. And Yoki I'm the exec sponsor for Yoki. What they're doing is they're taking support tickets for track care, actually, anonymized, and matching that up to our documentation and other learning material. And the idea is, if an issue comes in, can we provide the support advisor with some educational material? Because that might be good for the support advisor to say, did you know this material exists? Might help you. What we see with our track care customers around the world, I don't know if it's the same here, is a staff turnover of about 30%. So that's really high. So customers in the Middle East are constantly replacing nurses. Those nurses need training. So they may not be familiar with all the capabilities within track care and shortcuts and other things they can do. So this is one way to bring training kind of when you need it to a new employee, one of our customers. So Yoki is pretty far down the path of proving this to be successful. We're actually in the measurement period to understand what impact is this having for our customers. Is it improving their satisfaction? Is it making us more proactive in the eyes of the customer? So I'm pretty excited about this project. But that's how our innovation works internally, and we're really excited by it. Any employee can participate, and that makes everybody get excited by it. So it's not just this formal program. We're doing a lot of informal things too. I used to call it skunk works. You know, things I don't know my people are working on that are really good ideas. And this is one of them. This is actually live. So when a support issue comes in, we're using Gen AI to find similar support tickets. And you can see, might be hard to see, but 92%, 90% similarity, 86%. So the support advisor can decide, hey, I think I'll look at this one because it's already been solved. So this is for our internal use, and we're measuring the results of this. Are we having a faster turnaround time on tickets? And I'm really excited by this. The idea at some point is to open this up for customers too. So we want to try it internally, make sure it's working for us. And then for some customers who report a lot of tickets, this could really be an advantage. But we're working on other exciting projects that I don't have slides for. For example, in learning services, we build storyboards, right? We want to build an online course about a topic. Doesn't matter what the topic is. So somebody would sit down and kind of think it through and build a storyboard. And then it would iterate and then turn into an online class. Now we're using Gen AI to do the first draft storyboard. We let Gen AI tear through our documentation, tear through notes, tear through databases, and put together the first storyboard. The result of this is we could do 4 times the number of storyboards than we could previously. So it's made us more responsive, more effective. It's increased our bandwidth to build more courses. There are lots of other internal examples too, but we're using Gen AI throughout the company, generally to create assistance and to help us be more responsive. Oh, there's one I forgot to mention, which is what we call global search. As you might imagine, we have source code, we have bug tracking, we have enhancement tracking, we have support issues, right? We've got all these different data sources. And previously, we were using just SQL queries, you know, looking for something that has this type of text. And that worked okay. But now we're using, and we've deployed this live too, Gen AI to do that. So global search is now Gen AI powered. And I'm amazed. I've used this every day, and I can find something so faster and so more effectively, and I don't have to weed through a list. I'm finding things that are really more relevant. So these are some of the ways we're innovating internally. The other thing we've been doing for quite a long time is supporting internship programs. So we've been doing internship programs for decades. I forget when we started. But we've also brought them around the world. So I'll talk about this one, led by our fearless leader, Luciano, in just a second. But we're doing intern programs in Northern Territory with Darwin University. We're doing internship programs in Sydney, Australia, the Middle East, Italy, and of course the US. And the Singapore story is relatively new. We've been doing this over the last year or two. What they worked on this year was to take just human text, say, what are the 30-day readmission rates for this hospital, and trend that over a period of time. And what they do is they take that text, Gen AI creates the SQL to do the query to get the data, and then Gen AI puts it into a dashboard. It's pretty cool. Another thing they've done is they've worked with Marymount Labs, who's here in the partner pavilion, to help with sending communications to patients. This one's not Gen AI, but it's important, so it's impactful. So early in this, they're very early in this program in Singapore, but they're doing amazing things. So the internship program gives us fresh minds. It helps us innovate as well. I think I lost, there we go. How do we help our developers? Sorry, getting some static. Is that testing? How do we help developers, coming back to that? We have early access programs, so there could be a new feature in Iris. We'll let it out early so we can get feedback on it before it's available in the release. You heard Dimitri yesterday put up the QR code. If you're interested in the AI stuff that we're doing in track care, you can also get early access to that. We have a vibrant developer community where developers talk to each other, share code, share tools and utilities, as well as the track care community. Our learning services catalog of resources is pretty immense. So the principle there is to allow customers to learn anywhere, anytime, at your convenience for any of our products. And we don't charge for it. If we come out and do classroom training, there may be a charge for that. But most of our education is free. And we build skill paths. So if you're a Python programmer and you'd like to use AI together with Iris, we have a skill path for that. So you don't have to search around the thousands of courses that we have. We make it really easy. And one thing we've always done throughout our entire existence is to work shoulder to shoulder with customers across all products. And that'll continue. So some of you have seen this. When I was a customer, this is the guy who answered the phone. Terry challenges all of us for excellence in our products and excellence in our services. And he continues to push us to innovate and to continue to do a great job for customers. I can tell you in our Monday morning management meeting, we don't talk about money. We talk about customer experiences. We talk about patches we sent. We talk about an experience a customer had, even if it had nothing to do with us. And unfortunately, lately, we're seeing more and more security issues come up with our customers. So we're thinking about how can we work more proactively with our customers to educate them in this area. So Terry wants excellence in everything that we do, and we're customer first. So I'm proud that Forbes picked up on Terry. He's a bit of a shy guy, so it's kind of funny to see that happen. That's a bit about us. I'm going to talk about customers this afternoon. You're going to hear Dimitri in just a second talk about track care and where we're heading. But I want to say thank you for being here. But more importantly, thank you for your trust in us. Thank you for your partnership. And thank you. Thank you.